This is a picture of my home country, Vietnam. When you think of Vietnam, you often think of a country that's ravaged by wars, have delicious food, and beautiful destination. But to me, my home country reminds me a lot of the hope and resilience of my community, and more importantly, the entrepreneurial spirits. When you look around, you see innovation, ideas, and grit everywhere. In particular, you see that in the street stall, in the mom and pop shop, and local boutiques. And it's just a beautiful mosaic coming together. And it's really hard to understand that the country actually just opened up the economy around 36 years ago. And being the crafty kid that I was also inspired to start my own thing. So at 11 years old, I started my first business, which is selling preteen newspaper to my classmate. I even convinced this lady who had a crush on my uncle to print the newspaper for me. And at 15 years old, I started a few other businesses, namely an online fashion retailer. And I had a lot of fun. I even designed some of my own pieces. But something was missing. Even though I really enjoy, soloing these hobbies into some side hustle, I felt like there was untapped opportunity to really use entrepreneurship as an agent of change and to tackle fervent issue that plague humanity. And around this time, I actually also started volunteering at a soup kitchen. And even though I always knew that billions of people around the world live under the poverty line and struggle to put food on the table, this statistic feels a lot more real at the soup kitchen. So I wanted to solve a problem with this entrepreneurial spirit that I had, but I wasn't really sure how to go about it. Anyways, summer passed and I went back to school, put my business on pause. I graduated high school, got accepted to UBC, and moved from Vietnam to Vancouver alone in late 2017. And as I moved to university and started cooking for myself, I realized I actually have a big problem with food waste. And in particular, I keep forgetting what I have in my fridge, which I'm sure everybody here has experienced. I hated how I reached in the fridge and found moldy food. And I felt really bad for wasting money as well as wasting food. So I team up with a few friends to create a solution to this problem. Initially, we developed this mobile app to track expiry dates for what you found in the grocery store. And I didn't really think much of it until the pandemic came. This is when things really start to change. I did more research and learned that actually $50 billion worth of food goes to waste every year in Canada, 15% of which comes from cosmetic imperfections or overstocking alone. This doesn't sit right with me knowing that food costs are at an all-time high. I'm sure you're feeling that at the grocery store. And also 10% of greenhouse gas emission actually comes from food waste. It boggles my mind that in developed countries like Canada, this problem is such a huge issue and we still live in a state of abundance. This has made us so picky with our food that we're wasting 1,000 pounds every single year individually and millions still can't afford to eat. So this led me to create Peko. Peko is Western Canada's first delivery service for peculiar and surplus groceries, and everything we sell is up to 40% off grocery store prices. So my co-founder Ariel and I started off selling these mystery produce box with imperfections, and we packed all of summer last year. I went to a bunch of farmers market, left a cushy office job, and I had so much back pain last summer. So this is a picture of us at our warehouse. It was really different from my past venture in the sense that it's actually tackling a social problem and people wanted to help. And that's when I saw the power of community. Within our first 2 days of launch, we actually received over 100 orders thanks to a simple Facebook post from an acquaintance. And our best friends come together to help us pack when we couldn't get any worker. Many of them are here. And people with experience come together to help. But that's not to say I didn't have many lowlights. We almost got canceled with our first shipment because it was so bad. And Oh my gosh, it gives me like PTSD until today. Another memorable experience was around this time last year in November 2021. So many of you may remember a series of landslide and flooding that cut off the highway connecting BC to the rest of Canada, which is most definitely an effect of climate change. But this actually also cut off the supply of food going in and out of the province. And as a result, Peko had a lot more surplus supply from our produce wholesaler. At the same time, grocery stores were also wiped out due to panic buying. And my co-founder then made this Facebook post, which completely went viral. People really came together to help divert these imperfect and ripening food from going to waste. And our sales 10x in a single week, which actually allow us to donate so much food to local community fridges, but also to the Canadian Red Cross to help those in need. The craziest thing was our team was just 2 people back then, and I was actually in a landslide accident just a few days earlier. So fast forward to today, it's been 1.5 years since we started our startup. We have diverted over 150,000 pounds of food from going to the landfill, while saving our customer more than $500,000 worth of grocery bills. It's really insane to see this growth, and I'm thankful for everyone who has been part of this journey. But that's not all. We're actually partnering with a local nonprofit called Food Stash to launch a new delivery day. And actually 60% of our proceeds on this day will go to subsidize their food bank operations to not only reduce food waste, but also give dignified food access to those who really need it. Starting Peko has taught me that listening to community is how you solve problems. Crowdsourcing their power is how you grow, and partnering with mission-aligned organizations is how you amplify impact. We can go a lot further together, so let's go together. Thank you.